Hey guys, how we doing and how we feeling today? Okay, so today we're gonna talk about this is episode 35. This is episode 35 titled Sad Songs in a Hotel Room by Joshua Bassett. That is the EP that we're gonna review for today, for today's episode, this episode. Okay, so who is Joshua Bassett? Excuse me, my voice little sore today. Okay. So, who is Joshua Bassett? For those of you who don't know, Joshua first gained momentum when he joined the High School Musical, the series, on Disney Plus as the male lead. So, for those of my generation, I was born in the 97, the year 1997. So Joshua he was actually born in the year 2000. I looked it up. So he's like 3 years younger than me. I'm 25 currently, going on 26 in a few months. So yeah, Joshua, I first discovered him through this series. I love High School Musical. I've talked about High School Musical before in the podcast when we reviewed Olivia Rodrigo's smash debut album Sour. And speaking of Olivia, I was gonna get to that. So not only that, but Joshua first he gained even more momentum when there was a rumored romance that by this point it's practically confirmed. Well, yeah, it's there has been plenty of hints through Olivia's album and Joshua's music when this all came about a year ago, actually almost 2 years ago. So let me explain. So firstly, we had, I believe, if I remember correctly, because that was one of Pop and Bob's first episodes ever. So when we talked about Olivia Rodrigo and Sour and High School Musical, the series, anyways, I'll refresh you guys. So this all started with Driver's License. Um, Olivia dropped that song. It became a smash hit, her debut smash hit, and there was a rumored love triangle between them two and Sabrina Carpenter. When we talked about Sabrina Carpenter back some episodes back, Emilio said that Sabrina talked about her side of the story, and these two guys, Joshua and Olivia, have done as well several times. Olivia Rodrigo first started all this, kickstarted with Driver's License, and then Joshua he talks about in this EP. So let me get to that. He talks about his how he almost died because he had. I looked it up. According to Wikipedia, I know that it's not a very reliable source, but okay. I also saw an interview with him on the Zach Sang show on YouTube, and Joshua talked about how post driver's license he had to check himself in at the hospital, at his local hospital. I believe he lives in LA. He talks about that in this EP as well. So he got septic shock and heart failure. That's what I found on Wikipedia. And he had a 30% chance of survival. He survived, thank God, because we at Pop and Bob adore Joshua Bassett. We believe, well, I immediately believe that he's very talented. He's very, he feels like an old soul, you know. He's younger than me. I think he's right now 22 years old. No, 21. He's still 21. I looked it up. And anyways, let's talk about the EP. We'll get more into those details in a bit. So yeah, that love triangle between these three artists really catapulted not only Joshua but also Sabrina into the main public eye, because Olivia was already in it because of Driver's License, and then Deja Vu, Good For You, and then Sour. Okay, so prior to the EP release, what did we have for promotion? Joshua started this era with earlier this year with, I think it was this summer. Yeah, starting this summer, more or less. Okay, so Joshua dropped Smoke Slow as the lead single and accompanied by a music video. I'll be honest, at first I wasn't the biggest fan of the song, but now that I heard the EP several times, uh, within the context of the EP, it makes sense. Its placement, it makes sense as a lead single. It's a more radio friendly song than the rest of the songs on the EP. However, he also teased each of the remaining five at that time unreleased tracks on social media, especially on Instagram. That's where I saw them. And then we had the Lifeline music video, and thirdly, the Sad Songs in a Hotel Room music video. Okay, so the EP itself, let's get into it. So, okay, the EP is 6 songs long, so it's pretty, you can get through it pretty fast. I appreciate when artists get straight to the point. That's why I love EPs, because they tell a shorter story, a more condensed, compact story, but you get the same amount, or if not higher quality than you get from I don't know, from a 16 song long album. Not gonna say any names, but okay, let's leave it at that. Okay, so let's get into the first track, Sad Songs in a Hotel Room. That's, oh, and I forgot to mention, it's 18 minutes long, 18 minutes and 29 seconds long. So it's pretty, you can get through it pretty fast. You can get through it pretty rapidly. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm having a little tough time talking clearly. It's not early, but okay. It's almost 11 a.m. as I'm recording this. Okay. Anyways, so Sad Songs in a Hotel Room. This is an opening / title track, and it sets a tone pretty clearly for the rest of the EP, for all the EP. Then Joshua sings lyrics like, "It's 3 a.m. while my guitar gently weeps." And then he says, "So I order room service for one." Yeah, so basically I can relate to this what Joshua was talking about here, because he's talking about loneliness, and not only loneliness, but also like he's heartbroken. He's literally writing sad songs in a hotel room. I can picture it pretty perfectly. Actually, I love the not the album cover, the EP. This is an EP, the EP cover, because not only the font of the title, but also Joshua, at the center with center stage with his guitar. He's in the hotel room. It fits pretty perfectly with the vision that I'm getting. Then we go to, oh, okay, and I'll mention this right now. I am pretty sorry, I am pretty impressed with how this EP turned out, because it's 6 tracks, and from the 6 tracks, literally 5 of the 6 tracks are highlights. That's pretty rare for me to only have one song. The other song I do love, I like it, but it's not highlights level for me, it's not a standout track level track. Okay, then going on to track number 2, LA, another one of my highlights. Joshua sings, "I just gotta get out of LA. I've been thinking of running away. I just gotta get out of this town. Lately, everyone's bringing me down. I've been making a run for my life. I'm not sure if I'll make it tonight. Guess I've run out of things I can say." So yeah, basically it's pretty straightforward. Joshua lives in LA and he doesn't want to be there anymore. He doesn't feel, welcome there. He feels like, I don't know, maybe he made some enemies along the way, or simply he doesn't get the vibe anymore. He doesn't, his energy, his vibe doesn't mesh well with LA's by now. So he just wants a fresh start. I think we can all relate to that. Okay. Then track number 3, "Used to It," another one of my highlights. Joshua sings, "I'm not surprised I didn't call." No, sorry. That was a mistake from my part. The lyric goes, "I'm not surprised you didn't call." Then he sings, "When I almost died, you didn't care at all. Mama said you can't be mad at who you wish somebody was. And I'm not surprised you didn't call. I guess I got used to it." Okay, so this is some pretty sad stuff here. Joshua at this point has like a brand that he's building of, sad, melancholic songs, heartbreak songs. I can relate to that, so that's why I love this guy. Okay, so in this song, it's kind of straightforward. He's talking about someone, I believe it's Olivia, because he's saying, "When I almost died, you didn't care at all." He said this in that same Zach Sang show interview. If you haven't watched or listened to Zach Sang's interviews, they're pretty good. I recommend it 100% to watch them and listen to them. Anyways, in that interview, Joshua said that when all went down, when shit hit the fan, with his health, and he ended up in the hospital, and thankfully he survived. He said, well, he didn't say any names, but he explicitly said that there was someone in his life that it meant to him, during that time, or previously to that time, that they didn't. It seems like they didn't care that he almost died. It's like they really couldn't care less. So, and this lyric, especially when he says, "Mama said you can't be mad at who you wish somebody was." This is some pretty true stuff, because moms have like a sixth sense when it comes to, they warn you about people. My mom does it as well. She can be like, "Okay, so careful with this person because they have this energy about them that doesn't sit well with me. Like, just be careful." And they tend to be true with that. So, yeah, I mean, Josh was saying that his mom said the same thing to him. Like, you can't be mad at who you wish somebody was. It's pretty deep, because it's like, you can't change another person. So you have to just accept that they're gonna react the way they're gonna react. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and you can't do a damn thing about it. Now, and you have to get used to it, as he says. And also, I want to add that Joshua's vocals here are especially sharp and smooth here. Joshua has a really very pretty voice. I know I'm like talking really splendidly of him, because I really appreciate him as an artist. I see him with a lot of potential, but anyways, I'll get to that in a second. Then moving on to Smoke Slow. Okay, so Smoke Slow, this is the fourth track on the EP, and so far the first four tracks are highlights. Okay, so this was a lead single, and as I said earlier, I didn't vibe really with the song at first when I first listened to it back in some months ago when he dropped it, but now within the context of the EP, there we go, it makes sense where it's placed, and also what it's going for, the lyrics, and it makes sense as a lead single. It's kind of radio friendly, I would say more radio friendly than the rest of the songs by far. Then Lifeline, track number 5, the last of my 5 highlights on the album. On the EP. Joshua sings, "Try not to try, I won't say goodbye just yet." And also he sings, "Don't you know you're my lifeline?" Okay, so this is some pretty heavy stuff, because he's talking about this person. This time, I don't know who he could be talking about. Another girl, I don't know, a guy. Because it's known that Joshua came out last year, sort of. He said that he also likes guys, I believe. So, okay. Basically, I don't know who he's talking about here. It's just speculation. But he's like, "Don't you know you're my lifeline?" Maybe he found someone new who he's like connecting with, and that's who he's referring to. I don't know. Then track number 6, track number 6, "All in Due Time." Okay, so Joshua sings, well, maybe someday it'll all fade away, and the weight of the world won't be mine, and maybe I'll see at the end of the day who I am made it all worth the while, and these scars will be stories I tell. Okay, so this is the only track, as I said, that didn't make the cut uh, as far as highlight standout tracks go on the EP, but it's still a pretty good song, pretty solid. And I love especially this last part of the lyrics that says, "And these scars will be stories I tell." I can relate to that because we all have like figurative scars, damage that people have inflicted on us, and it's all up to you if you decide to take those scars and make something beautiful. So yeah, that's the EP. So basically, what are the recurring themes in the EP? Well, loneliness, heartbreak, and getting over someone, a lover that did you dirty, did you wrong, and a relationship that didn't end up. Well, no relationship ends on a nice note, but there are different scenarios, right? So Joshua is talking about a failed relationship that not only it failed, but he ended up in bad terms with this other person. Now, so my final overall thoughts on Joshua and this EP. Joshua, I love that he's gaining more and more momentum each time. He's still the male lead of High School Musical, the musical series. He has solo songs on there as well. He has written some songs for the soundtracks. Actually, I'll say this right now. I have a future episode planned to talk about season 3 of High School Musical, the musical, the series. I love that series. And yeah, just letting you all guys know what something that's coming in down the line. Okay, now, is this Joshua's best EP to date because he only has EPs and droplet singles? Yes, by far, this is Joshua's best body of work to date. His previous EPs he has two. The first one is his self-titled EP, Joshua Bassett. The second one is Crisis / Secret / Set Me Free. I would say with 100% accuracy and clarity that Crisis / Secret / Set Me Free is his second best EP, and his debut self-titled EP is his least prominent body of work to date. Okay, so what score do I give Sad Songs in a Hotel Room by Joshua Bassett? I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. This is a pretty good score if you ask me, coming from me. So yeah, Joshua has a lot of potential. He's still pretty young, younger than me. I'm not old, but I'm 25. Quarter life. Joshua is still 21. He's almost 22, I think. So yeah, he has a lot of future ahead of him. So kudos to him. Some applause for Joshua Bassett. Okay, now before I go, if you want more content from Pop and Bob, we're about to, as I said, expand into more pop culture territory in general. We're gonna cover movies, like MCU, the DCEU, Wizarding World, you name it. Series, from the different streaming shows. Sorry, not streaming shows. Yeah, streaming shows from the different streaming services like HBO Max, Disney Plus. I'll get more into that, and if you want to find out more about all that new stuff that's coming to this brand of Pop and Bob, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Pop and Bob. On TikTok, it's at Pop and Bob 1, and Facebook and YouTube, it's simply Pop and Bob. So yeah, guys, that was it for my review of Sad Songs in a Hotel Room by Joshua Bassett. This has been Pop and Bob. I'm Emilio Fernandez, and thank you so much for listening. Catch you next time.